used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Fat Man.
What up? Welcome back once again to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones. And in this one, let's go ahead and add one more figure to my McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Now, of course, this time it will be a figure from the Three Joker storyline, the Comedian. Now, we do know that there are going to be 3 Jokers released from this set. You have the Criminal, the Clown, and the Comedian. Each represents a different era in the Joker's legacy. One is more like a criminal from the old school first appearances of the Joker. And then you have a campy clown version. And then you have the more sinister comedian version. Now, it is loosely based on the Killing Joke Joker, but it is represented in the Three Jokers storyline. Now, I did get this from GameStop. I picked up 2 of these, one to keep in my unopened McFarlane Multiverse collection, and one to review and display on my DC Multiverse shelf. I've actually really been looking forward to taking a look at this guy. Seen a lot of reviews, so pretty much jealous. Now, he does look really evil in the packaging, but let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. But first, he does come with your standard black DC Multiverse stand. Now, not always needed, but sometimes useful. He does come with his data file card. On the front there, you do have some figure photography, and on the back, you do have some information. Pretty sweet. We'll add this to the collection. Now, he does come with some accessories. He comes with this crowbar. Now, this crowbar is different from the previously released crowbars. These are a little bit smaller and just a different shape entirely. This one looks more like a demo crowbar that you use to rip apart buildings, and these are more like your old school classic, just regular crowbars. But pretty cool to add it to the collection. You never know when we might need an extra crowbar. He also comes with this old school camera. Now, he does use this a lot in the Killing Joke, and it really adds to that aura from the comic books. So really nice camera, really detailed. On the front, it does have, if you look really close in the front here, it says Joker, which is an added little touch. Pretty cool. And now let's go ahead and take a look at him. First off, like I said before, classic Joker in a coat with his fedora. Really iconic look for the Joker. Just a sinister looking image when you see him in this long trench coat and his hat. Pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and take a look at the head. Now, the face sculpt is really nice. They did add some darker paint across the eyes, I guess, to give it a shadow look. Even though you could use lights to give it that without that paint, I guess this just makes it a lot easier. You don't have to, when you do put him in a pose where it's gonna blacken out his eyes, it's just easier to get to that point. And you do have some beady little white eyes looking through there, through that darker paint. But all in all, really detailed Joker. Actually, this would be the best Joker head that McFarlane has done if he didn't have the hat, because of course you're not going to be able to remove this. I mean, unless you heat it up, but I'm pretty sure underneath it has where they actually connect the hat, so it's not going to look too pretty. But all in all, beautiful head sculpt. Now, he does look down. Give him a creepy vibe there. He does look up. You got left to right. And then you can tilt his head for a little bit of attitude. Pretty cool, pretty neat. Now moving down, he does have the trench coat covering the upper part of his body, so it's going to be pretty hard to get any waist rotation. The jacket is actually detailed very nicely. You do have some grain on it, like if it was really leather. And you got some straps, a lot of little buckles. Awesome sculpt work done there. Let's take a look at the arms. He does have a butterfly shoulder joint. You can lift his arm up. He does have a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. And then moving across into the front of his sleeve, he has a little bit more details with some buckles there. And then I love the line work they did on the gloves to make it look like some leather gloves. Of course, his hand is articulated. And on the other side, you got kind of a gripping hand. Pretty much you could modify this into a pistol gripping hand, so it's going to be pretty cool to look at that. And then moving down, you do have to lift up his coat to check out the thigh swivel, but he does have some thigh swivel there. And then the leg, you could still stick it out, show off those double jointed knees, straighten them out. He does have up and down on the shoes. The only thing is that it's hindered a little because of the sculpt of the pant leg, so it hinders the movement a little bit. And then you do have left to right. Surprisingly, it does have rocker, even though the ball, like you can't reach the ball, but the rocker still works, so it goes back to its original position. And then of course he does have toe articulation. Now, like I said before, you can't, I don't know why a lot of times people are like, oh, I want him to do the splits. I want him to do this. Why do you want Joker to do the splits if he, this is a certain version of Joker, and even a normal version of Joker would not be doing the splits. So, if you wanted to, you could split his legs out, but there's no need to, because you're never going to put him in a position to have his legs, split out. So I just don't get it. I mean, the articulation is a little bit hindered, but this is like some really beautiful shelf candy that you just want, with his accessories and up on the shelf. You could use them for photos, but of course he's not going to be doing the splits. Basically, he's going to be, holding a weapon or taking pictures or whatever, but definitely not doing any contortionist, movements. So for me, he's perfect. Really good figure for what he's supposed to be. But if you take a look at the bottom, no tread, but definitely some sculpting on the bottom of the shoes. Moving up the back, the pant legs are really nice. Really happy to see McFarlane make an actual buck of pretty much like a suit body. That way this could be used for other purposes, hopefully, in the future. And then moving up the trench coat, more detail, more grain. Pretty cool sculpt work there. Now, of course, you can get his accessories into his hand. We could put the crowbar, the one he used to beat the brakes off of Jason Todd. You can also get his camera really smoothly around his neck, and then if you put it under the folds of his trench coat, it just holds place there. So you don't really have to mess with it at all. It's pretty nice. And then of course, me, I had to add my own touch, and that is that I actually took one of these long guns. I think it was from the White Knight Joker. But since I did buy 2 of those figures, I had an extra one. And I did modify it to make it shorter. So, and then also I repainted it in more like a gun metal finish. That was just like more like a gray, like a gray color. And this is more like a shiny gunmetal color. And then you could see the difference in length of how I chopped it down. The handle was black and the one I did is brown. Sealed it up so the paint doesn't rub off. And now I made Joker his own little weapon, his own gun. So you could actually put that into his hand, and actually I've modified the finger to where it'll actually fit right in the trigger hole where it's supposed to go. So looks really good. Now that adds a whole lot of attitude and a whole lot of intimidating factor to Joker. Once you give him a weapon in his hands, pretty deadly. Really like how he looks with the gun. Then you could have fun with him, pointing the gun. Pretty cool. I like him like that. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at him next to some other figures. What about my custom painted Rebirth Joker? And then let's take a look at him next to some Batman swapped out parts action. And then we'll put him next to a pretty peed off Jason Todd. And then let's put him next to my custom serial killer Joker that I made using the head that was actually inside the Last Night on Earth Batman's lantern. Really love this figure. He just looks, he just looks really creepy. And I gave him a knife and love that head sculpt for like a regular body Joker. Really cool. So, really happy with this figure. I mean, I know what he's for. This is how he's going to go up on my shelf with his gun and with his camera. So, pretty sure he's not going to be hard to find. Go ahead and add him to your collection. But keep hunting out there. Keep collecting. Keep customizing. And I will see you on the next one.